Monday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. It is Monday, September the 7th. My name is Caroline. Welcome back. It's been a week. It's been a while since I was here. The last video I did was last Tuesday, and then I took a couple of days off to work on the sewing that I had to do for the shop update, and then oh, we had some wild weather come through. In fact, it's been a pretty crazy few days. Thursday. So when did Sarah come back? Sarah came back on Thursday night, and I think it was Friday night. Friday during the day, the wind started to pick up and we had a gale. So gale force winds for Friday and Saturday. And what that means, it's not out of the ordinary for us to have gale force winds. It's not an unusual event. In fact, we had gale warnings again last night. If you're familiar with the painters, the group of 7, sort of very, very famous group of artists who paint very familiar to me landscapes of the area where I live. And so many of the trees featured in those paintings are sort of sideswept and windblown. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason, you know, why a few of my favorite trees on the island, they're crooked trees. They grow in the direction of the prevailing winds, because it's a very windy place where I live. It's windy all the time. Sometimes the winds can pick up out of nowhere. You can be, you know, it can be completely calm outside, and then, you know, in 20 minutes time, the wind will shift and it will pick up speed, and the waves will whip up. And so you have to be really careful when you're out on the water that you've checked the forecast really carefully. And even when you check the forecast, you have to be prepared. So you know, life jackets are a must, and you know, boating safety and all of that. I should mention, this is Georgian Bay, Ontario, Canada. I frequently talk to you as though you all know who I am, because we've been best of friends for 3 years now. But I am also cognizant of the fact that new friends are joining in every day and finding me over here. And so if you're new, welcome. I record from an off-grid cottage on Georgian Bay in Ontario, Canada for the summer. I cannot live here in the winter because it is, well, I would be landlocked for about, we've been discussing this, because it is an option for our future to maybe one day spend an entire year, including the winter. But we would have a lot of work to do in order to prepare for that. So you would have to prepare for to be safe, probably about 4 months that you couldn't really reliably get off the island, because it would just be too dangerous with ice. So sometimes if the winter is very, very good, very cold, and lots of what John likes to call great ice weather, he will snowshoe over anywhere from about mid-February to the beginning of March, when the ice is thick enough and safe enough for him to travel over. So yeah, I don't think he made it, or did he make it over maybe once last winter? The ice was terrible last year, so it wasn't really a good year for coming over. Anyways, yes, so the weather has been absolutely crazy, and the whole family was here. And what that means when the weather is very bad and there's lots of people in a very small space, and I mean lots of people, there are 4 of us, but this is a small cottage. This is not a, you know, grand structure. We all like each other, so we're very happy to be together, but it is a small space, and there really wasn't a chance for me to have a few quiet moments to come on and record a video. And I really missed it. I really miss this space. I miss doing this for, you know, purposes of visiting you, those of you who are perhaps also feeling a bit lonely and maybe out of sorts with everything that's going on in the world right now, and perhaps you can't get together with your friends the way that you're used to doing and feeling a bit cooped up and lonesome. These visits are, you know, just meant for a little friendly chat on what I would hope to be a daily basis. But there just sometimes I just can't quite manage it, and I felt a little, you know, a little strange, and so coming back today feels really nice. So yes, we did have another gale warning last night. The wind didn't get probably quite as fierce as what they were predicting, at least in our immediate area. Georgian Bay is quite a large bay within Lake Huron, and you know, southern Georgian Bay can have different weather to northern Georgian Bay, and not really different, but you can have a lot more wind or a thunderstorm that maybe they're not having further north or further south. Anyway, so John had to head back today he has to work this week in London. That's where he works, and he took well, Sarah also works in London. She was up for a few days, but she's headed back now home as well. And Nicholas went back with them as well, because he is going to hopefully be able to spend some time this week with his best friend back home in London. And his best friend is going to be restarting up school, in-person school next week. And Nicholas is going to be doing remote learning from up here. So we thought it was a good chance for the boys to get a nice visit together before sort of things change and we're back to, you know, our smaller bubble, and being up here with my father-in-law, making sure that we keep him not exposed to lots and lots of people. So we're just you know, taking things one day at a time, 1 week at a time, as I'm sure all of you are. We're all sort of, you know, in various varying degrees of trying to figure things out. A humongous thank you to send out to all of my teaching friends, staff of schools, custodial staff, administrative staff, you know, school bus drivers, anyone heading out this week to, you know, what is, you know, a brand new situation. 2 thumbs up. You guys are doing a great job, no matter what you're doing. Just the fact that we're all, you know, we're all sort of unsure of what's going on. And I wish you all the best of a great start to a new, very unsettled year. And just a huge thank you for all the work that you're doing to put into this. I know it's hard for everyone. So thank you. Yeah, so we will hopefully figure out next week what's going on with Nicholas's schooling and get him settled and set up. He has an area out in the, I think he has a small area out in the living room where he will be set up. And so yeah, as to that, if I don't manage to do quite everyday videos, it's most likely because I am also going to have to try to be helping him over the next few weeks navigate a brand new system of online learning. So we have that to look forward to. And the shop, I did the big shop update on Friday, so that was very, very busy. And you know, when the cottage was full of my family, making sure that I had a good work family balance was also you know, in part of the mix as well. John's great. He takes over when I'm really busy with my work. He takes over with you know, making sure that everybody has something to eat and you know, coffee's made and all that good stuff. So we make a good team. But yes, the cottage is now quiet, and for the next few days it's just Luna and I here, so I'm looking forward to sharing my crafty endeavors with you. I'm now 10 minutes in and I haven't shared any of my crafting with you yet, so let's get to that, shall we? I have done a little bit of stitching over the last week. So let me show you, I have 3 projects to share with you today, and 2 of them you've seen recently. So the first one up was my brand new start. of last week. This is the History Stickmuster chart, the colors of Venice. And I just love this. Love, love, love this chart. You might remember I've mentioned in the past how my landmark tapestries, the Savon, how that's comfort stitching for me. Let me tell you, this fits the bill as well in a slightly different way because, well, I'll show you on my actual stitching. Now, the lighting in here, as you know, is not great, so hopefully you can see this okay. It is a white, yeah, that's showing up okay, I think. It's a white linen. I started in the bottom left corner. There are only 3 colors in this block. And so what you can do is what I've done is I've stitched all of the cream that needed to be done, and I've stitched most of this other color, this sort of brownish, oh, it's just a beautiful taupey brown color. And I've stitched that motif, and then the rest of it is just fill in. It's that fun, you know, you can do it and just feel that pleasure of drawing the thread through the fabric and not having to count, not having to, you know, just kind of let your, you know, when you get into that rhythm and your brain just kind of relaxes and you can just take a deep, happy breath and it feels so good. Yeah, this is that kind of stitching. And I'm just loving it so much. So my goal is to finish that bottom square and then, you know, maybe tuck it away again for a while until, I don't know, the next time I need to start something new. I'm going to consider each little box like a new little start. And I thought that might make it seem a little more like a fun surprise, right? You know what I mean. Okay, the other thing that I was working on was my Glendon Place Hope and Strength. Oh, I should mention also Dorothy and Uta from History Stickmuster sent me this. They kitted this up for me and they sent me the supplies back about a month ago, along with a few other things so that I could tell you guys about them. They are a shop in Germany, in Hamm, and they also, they mail order. I know somebody I follow on Instagram just ordered, or Facebook, a member of the Facebook group, I think, just ordered, and I just saw your picture this morning and your name has just, but I can see the beautiful, Juliana just ordered a beautiful, beautiful kit, and it arrived, she said it arrived in 12 days from Germany, which is crazy fast at the moment because the post in other areas has been very, very slow. But the way that they package and send out their kits, it's like getting a gift in the mail, even though you've paid for it. It is the way that they lay out the silks and everything is organized and beautiful, and yeah. So yes, they sent this to me, so yes, I guess technically I'm advertising for them. However, I think they're worth it. They did a really great job. Beautiful stuff. And the silks are, I always mix up the soie and the ver. It's Auvera soie silks. See, I always used to call them soie d'Alger. I never used to say Auvera soie. I used to always say soie d'Alger. So I don't know why. What's the difference? Somebody please, was it Rose? Rose just posted a video on her Facebook group this morning about soie d'Alger. I should go and watch that. And then, you know what? I'd probably answer my own question before before you all feel like you have to jump in and fill me in. I should go and answer my own question. Anyways, speaking of, see, I mention these things and then I move on and I don't go back and fill you in. Rose, the Rose that I'm speaking of is Rose Heck from Calgary, Alberta. And actually, I'm not sure she's in Calgary, but I know she's in Alberta. I say Calgary because the shop Traditional Stitches, Rose is leading the stitch along for the Anne Morrison sampler chart put out by Hands Across the Sea that is in celebration of Traditional Stitches 20th anniversary. Traditional Stitches is a local needlework shop in Calgary, Alberta, and Rose is leading that stitch along for the Ann Morrison sampler. There's a Facebook group that Rose leads, and I think it's called the Traditional Stitches Ann Morrison Stitch Along, but I'm not exactly sure. Editing today for me is going to be very minimal because I'm going to try and I'm going to keep today just to chatting, and the whip parades will start back up tomorrow again when I have a little more time. I still, my father-in-law is still here on the island, and so I will be getting together. I need to prepare dinner for us to eat together and take care of a few other things today. Also, after a big shop update, I have to tidy up everything. All of my, you can see everything is in a bit of my fabric piles need to be reorganized so that I can gear up for the next week or so. Anyways, so yeah, whip parade and better editing tomorrow. I just really needed to get in and have a little visit with you guys today. So where was I? So yes, in case I don't get the correct Facebook group name, I will, and if you can't find it, leave me a message and I'll do a much better job tomorrow, I promise. Okay, so the other thing that I worked on was my Glendon Place Hope and Strength Stitch Along. And I know I shared this on Instagram, but I haven't shared it here yet. I finished the second lion. And I did get back up to that border. And I finished this section here on the side there, and then I've started the same matching part of the border over on this side. Now, what happens is in the middle here, you can see these stars. These stars are then stitched inside the border here, filled in with a cream colored floss in the middle, and then there's an outside border, border around the entirety of the chart. And so and there are a lot of beads, and there's some sparkly blue oh, what's it called? And my threads are out in the, like I said, I'll do a better job tomorrow. However, beautiful, beautiful. So that's done. So I'm going to finish that side. And then I think what I'm going to do next is stitch those, I'm going to stitch those purple stars that are in the inside. And then I will stitch the cream fill-in. See, I was debating doing that because I usually like to stitch cream or white stitches first. Personal preference. This is a personal preference. And lots of people will have big opinions on this, but I always think that whatever works for you is the right way for you. And what I like to do usually is stitch my white stitches or cream stitches first, and then stitch my other stitches into them, because I find that the color then stands out a little bit more from the background of the white or the cream. But you then, I don't know, because other people, you do tend to pull some fiber through from the stitches that are there. So you might be pulling a little bit of the white or the cream fiber through with the colored floss, but I've never really found it to be that much of a problem. Or the alternate, you know, if you were to stitch black first and then try to stitch white stitches in and amongst a lot of black, then you would be pulling, like the white thread would get a little bit dirty, not dirty, but dulled and gray from the black thread that you're pulling it through, where it's a shared hole. So that's just why I always like to stitch my cream stitches first. And so I was really hemming and hawing, should I stitch the cream and then stitch the purple? But this isn't really, I don't know. I don't think this is dark enough to really, anyway, I'm going for it. I'm going to stitch those purple flowers next and then stitch the cream fill-in after. Decision made. My decisions are meant to be changed 5 minutes after I make them. So we'll see what I actually end up doing. Okay, the third project that I have pulled out that I would really, really, really like to put some work into and try to finish in the next, in the month of September. I think seeing that I could finish that not small, small, in the month of August, you know, it means that it proved to me that, you know, if you just don't put it away, you can finish these things. And sometimes it's good for you to work on something until you finish it, especially with the smaller things that aren't these massive, massive projects that I feel like I need a break from. This is a small project. There's no reason why I can't finish this in the month of September if I just keep it out and work on it every day with my coffee. So this is the Martin Luther King sampler. It's always a, what's the, oh dear. It's Stone Street Stitch Works. It's always the right time to do what is right. And I'm doing a terrible job of telling you the correct Martin Luther King quote. But trust me that when I say that my sentiment is entirely well-meaning, because I think that it is always the right time to do the right thing. This is this is the piece that I chose to stitch so that I could participate in the diversity and inclusion stitch along on Instagram. And it's time for me to finish this up so that I plan on making this into a drawstring project bag so that I can remember. Always a good reminder to myself. So that is on deck. And I'm doing my own mix of colors. So again, this was a Stonehouse Stitchworks pattern, and she has so many beautiful designs on her Etsy page. This was, you paid 50 cents US for the pattern, and then the idea was that you donated $5 to a charity of your choice. And I added some money to a donation that I was making to the Native Women's Association of Canada. And I hope to have some more bags available soon that will also, that I'll be able to make another donation before the end of the year. So I'm using my own floss conversion. Let's see, I can show you if you're interested. Are you guys never not interested in floss colors? Because I am always interested in floss colors. All right, so the 4 colors, it only takes 4 colors that I'm using are, now this tells you how old it is, because this is Crescent Colors is no longer, Crescent Colors is now called Classic Colorworks. This is Bandana. This is one of my, if you didn't know it, if you're new to my channel and you're just meeting me today for the first time, hello, my name is Caroline, and this is my absolutely favorite color in the whole wide world. I love this color. Any shade variety of this color, and it wins my heart every time. I wish it would focus, because, come on, let's see if we can try to get that to focus a little bit. There we go. Isn't that beautiful? I love that color. Let me hold it up on the back of my fabric here. Maybe that would be a bit better. So Bandana, and the other one is Gentle Arts Acorn. And then I chose to do the vine and the leaves in 2 different shades of green. The first one is Gentle Arts Deep Forest. And the other one is a dinky dye silk called Dandenong. And this was a gift from, that silk was a gift from Carrie, the creative curator. A few years back now, she sent that to me along with a Christmas ornament that she had stitched. And so I'd like to finally use it in a special small project. You know, I'm sure if you've received gifts from Stitchy friends and you remember who sent it to you and sort of the meaning behind it, you like to use those things in something meaningful, that so it then imparts a bit of meaning into the then meaningful thing. Does that make sense? Makes sense to me anyways. So I look forward to finally being able to put a few stitches in with that floss. And that's it. I'm going to work a little bit more on my Christmas sock tonight. I hope to finish maybe 1 or 2 more stripes of color in my self-striping yarn, and yeah, go from there. So speaking of self-striping yarn, This is just a little sneaky peeky, not even a peek. I'm not going to give you, I don't have it, but I'm going to tell you something special is coming because I'm kind of getting a little bit excited. My channel, this weird YouTube Flosstube thing, I mean, it is kind of strange, isn't it? But I'm kind of getting up to a bit of a milestone in my subscriber numbers. And normally I don't really pay much attention to that because I don't really think it should matter. You know, we visit everybody because we visit, and you subscribe if you want to, and if you don't subscribe, that's okay too. But I'm approaching 10,000, which is kind of crazy. It's a little bit crazy. And I thought it might be fun if we had a little bit of a celebration, a little bit of, you know, giveaway stuff. So I had, you might remember a few months ago, right before I had surgery, I bought myself a little birthday present from Timber Yarns. Timber Yarns is a local yarn dyer to me in Ontario, here in Ontario, and Heather, the dyer behind Timber Yarns, is a genius at doing self-striping yarn. And so I treated myself to this beautiful yarn called Gerber, and it's just bright pinks and just bright pops of stripes in these socks. They're going to be gorgeous. I know I brought it with me. It's in a project bag in that cubby. So I'll try to find it. I'll try to dig it out and show it to you again tomorrow if you have forgotten or you didn't see when I bought that. So it was a little birthday present that I bought for myself. So I was talking to Heather after that, and Heather messaged me and she said, you know, how would you like me to send you some yarn for a little giveaway or something? And I said, well, yes, please. That would be really, really fun and really nice. And so it's a special prize. And so what I would like to do is I would like to save it for a 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So there's going to be an absolutely beautiful pair of self-striping sock yarn up for a prize once I hit 10,000 subscribers. So I'm getting close, you guys. I think maybe 300 or 400 to go. So that is kind of exciting. And I know I will also be putting together a project bag as well for a giveaway, and possibly one or two other special things. We'll see what I can come up with. But anyways, that's right around, it feels like it's going to be right around the corner. Well, not around the corner, but you know me. Right around the corner for me is like 6 months from now. Because that's how fast things go, right? And, you know, I can finish this huge project tomorrow. Why not? All right, I'm going to go make a huge pot of coffee, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to stitch the night away. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope that you have some crafting of your own to do to enjoy this Labor Day Monday. Happy Labor Day to my fellow Canadians celebrating Labor Day with a U, L-A-B-O-U-R, and my American friends celebrating L-A-B-O-R, Labor Day down in the States. I hope you're well. I hope you're with family if you can be. And happy stitching, everybody. Take care. And I will see you tomorrow.